Hello, welcome to this conversation. I'm Amitha Balachandra. 4 days ago, a 70-year-old pedestrian was mowed down by an overspeeding car in Mumbai's Cup Parade area. In fact, 3 weeks ago, there were protests near Worli after a woman jogger was flung across the street and eventually killed by an overspeeding car as well. Now, while all of these cases are coming up, statistics show that in a month, around 8,000 speed violations are being recorded. In 2022, 364 road crashes were recorded. In fact, World Road Statistics 2018 data shows that India ranked first in the number of road accident deaths among 199 countries. Now, the reason we're talking about this is because of a study that United Way Mumbai, in collaboration with IIT Bombay, State Transport Department, and Traffic Control Branch, has done. It's called Slow Down, which is a speed observation study, and it looks at problem areas in the city of Mumbai and also what really is lacking when it comes to enforcement. To talk about the study and what's going on in the city, Ajay Govale, who is the Vice President of Community Impact of United Way Mumbai, joins us right now. Mr. Govale, thank you so much for joining us. My first question to you is focusing on the 20 black spots that the study really talks about. And for viewers who were joining us, we're going to put up a chart with these black spots in this city that were surveyed as part of the study. Some pockets are in Chembur and the Eastern Express Highway, some in South Mumbai, including the Haji Ali Junction. The crux of the study, however, is talking about how there are infrastructure and enforcement issues. But Mr. Gokhale, if you can help us understand how these 20 spots were selected.
Sure, Amita. First of all, let me thank you for picking up such an important issue and speed being one of the major risk factors for road safety in our country today. So, this study was carried out as part of a project of United Way Mumbai. The project was named as Slow Down. As the name suggests, we wanted to work with the Mumbai Traffic Police to help them enforce stricter speed management measures across the city. And often you must have heard the concept of black spot. So areas or spots where junctions where there are certain number of casualties taking place as a result of road crash are often identified as black spots. And when we were working with the traffic police, we went through the list of 58 black spots that they had identified there. And out of those black spots, our endeavor was which are the spots where speed is a major culprit for causing accidents. And thus, if you go through the list of these 20 spots, these have been very carefully chosen where speed is the major culprit for road traffic crashes. In order to observe the speed pattern of the motorists, we studied these spots during the daytime and during the late hours in the evening, during the weekdays and during the weekends. And the pattern very clearly shows that during the non-peak hours and during weekends especially, motorists tend to overspeed. And I would like to bring your attention to this very important subjective concept of overspeeding. Overspeeding, if you look at the Ramabai Nagar junction along the Eastern Express Highway, where on both the sides of the road, there is a densely populated community which needs to access this road for crossing over or even to travel to their workplaces. In such a place, even 35 kilometers or a 40-kilometer speed is going to be overspeeding because it is relative to the context or the situation on that road. The moment the roads are open, roads are free during the late hours or during the weekends, motorists tend to have this mentality of compensating for the speed that they would otherwise not be able to take during the peak hours due to congestion.
What are the major findings in the study?
So, in terms of the enforcement, we observed that out of these 20 spots, only 7 spots had a posted speed limit, defined prescribed speed limit. The remaining 13 are yet to be defined. The critical road signages, such as the speed limit, what is the prescribed speed limit for that spot, or that this is an accident prone or a crash prone spot, or there is a merging section ahead. such critical signages are missing at 11 of the 20 locations. Side friction, which was observed due to illegal roadside parking at 7 of these locations, and pedestrians walking on the carriageway instead of the footpaths was observed at 7 locations. This is also because either the footpaths were broken or they were encroached and the pedestrians were forced to walk on the road. In terms of engineering, the road or lane markings were absent or faded, not very clearly visible at 17 of these spots, 17 locations. There was very poor visibility observed at 3 of the locations. So proper lighting is required around these spots. Inadequate road signs and potential conflict points at merging sections were observed at 6 of these locations.
Hmm.
One other very important issue that we observed was the good road conditions coupled with straight, longer stretch of road has also resulted in overspeeding of the vehicles.
Okay, and were those part of the recommendations then that were made? Because you said that in a lot of places there were signages that were missing, or even accident spot signages, for instance. All of those were also missing. And one of the things that you spoke about was encroachments. And in a city like Mumbai, that's rampant everywhere. So that was also a problem. So were they
Yes,
part of the
right,
recommendations?
right. Yes, definitely they were part of the recommendations. And what we've also recommended is addition of a few more traffic wardens at these spots during the peak hours, or vendor encroachment to be removed and parking, undisciplined parking to be regulated.
Hmm.
CCTV surveillance is also something that we've recommended to put rash driving or overspeeding under check. Besides installation of these key signages and informatory boards or proper road lane markings. One other key intervention recommended is installation of speed calming measures such as the speed humps or rumbler strips at suitable locations, and the speed camera installation as well, which will help in electronic enforcement.
So you're saying speed humps, traffic wardens, etc., will help. But what about fines? Do you believe that increasing the amount of money that people are going to end up paying, or making the fines more hefty would work?
Amita, we, the road safety practitioners, very strongly believe what it takes, what is the most deterring of the measures for road safety defaulters is the chances of getting caught.
Hmm.
Unpredictable and consistent enforcement is what is required. The amount of fine is really not the determining factor.
Okay. But what about repeat offenders? One of the articles in Times of India said that the transport chief has written to the union government to ensure that the offence is non-bailable. Do you believe that would also help?
It will, of course, this requires a lot of discussions and support in the frame of the law, whether this is feasible, manageable, doable. But as many deterrents that we apply, again,
Hmm.
this brings to the same question, the same point, is the frequency and unpredictability of the enforcement. It can't be at a, if we know that at a certain location on the Bandra Worli sea link there is a
Hmm.
fixed speed camera. All the motorists tend to slow down near the camera. The moment the camera passes by, they
Yes.
recover the speed. And
Hmm.
this is where I bring the point of unpredictable enforcement. So it can't be simply electronic enforcement. It has to be coupled with manual enforcement also. So for example, highway police of Maharashtra, they have over 80 such interceptor vans which
Hmm.
have the speed camera installed upon them. These vans are mobile.
Hmm.
The cops need to keep changing locations and keep enforcing this at different locations. This is how it becomes unpredictable for a motorist. So you can't expect or you can't predict where I can be caught and where I can't be.
All right. So, a couple of things that you mentioned, everything mixed together is what works. You're saying strong deterrence in terms of fines, but also stricter enforcement in terms of road signages and catching people when they least predict it. Mr. Govale, thank you so much for joining us and talking to us about this study.
Thank you, Amitha. Thank you. Really appreciate that you've taken up this issue of speeding.